As a renewable energy company, we're generating to try and help fight climate change, and at the same time climate change is probably the biggest risk to salmon and lots of other species throughout the country and throughout the world. The renewable green energy that we can generate has great benefits in that fight against climate change, but we've also got to remember that we have to protect the environments that we work in. So again, hydrogeneration, we use natural resources to create that renewable energy. So we've got to ensure that we do everything we can to protect those natural resources and the natural environment where we operate. We're standing by the River Tirry now. The work we're doing here is a trap and truck project. So we trap smolts in the trap behind us as they make their migration towards sea, and we transport them down to below the dam. Again, it's well known that the river barriers like dams can have an impact on fish migration. So the idea of this project is to try and ensure that we can optimise the number of smolts that pass downstream and get to sea and then ultimately come back as adults. My team, the environment team in hydrogeneration, in the operational part of the business, we are there ultimately to ensure environmental compliance, to ensure that during our operations that we're doing the right thing and we're doing everything we can to protect the environment. So we've got several environmental advisors, and we've also got Ross Glover, who's our specialist fisheries biologist with over 15 years experience in particularly in salmon management in Scotland. So it's Ross who manages the trap and runs the work for this sort of 2-month period with help from my team, from our operational teams, and from contractors as well.
Ross, so here we are on the River Tirry at the trap. Can you tell me a bit about what it is we're looking at and how it works?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so this is what's called a rotary screw trap, and it's a type of trap. It's designed and built in Canada, so this one has actually come all the way from Canada for use on the River Tirry. And it's quite a simple design. It might look a bit complex with all the aluminium and the turning parts, but the basic principle is you've got 2 floating pontoons either side that keep the trap raised in the water, and down the middle you've got a rotating drum. So the drum's not powered, it's purely the flow of water that's actually turning it. And what happens is we can position it in a part of the river where we know the smolts and the salmon are going to be coming out, and the power of the water turns the trap. The fish swim into it because they're following the main flow of water. They get funneled through the drum and into a trap at the back that basically keeps them safe, and they can't find their way back out once they're in there.
As far as these fish are concerned, they're heading down the river towards the sea. The problem is there's a hydro system further on down, and we're helping them on their way past that.
Research in the past has shown it can be quite a challenge for the smolts to find their way out. It's quite a big loch down there, Loch Shin, a lot of wind, a lot of currents, and the area they're trying to find in the dam to get out can be quite small. So essentially what we're doing is we're giving them a helping hand, and we're basically operating a taxi service to allow them to bypass the dam. So we're catching them here, we're going to look at them, we're going to tag some of them, and really what we're going to do, the end goal is we load them up into a tank on the back of a pickup truck and we drive them around the dams, put them back in the river, and then they can head out to sea. So it's a good way of keeping the numbers up and the percentages up that can actually make it out to sea, in the hope that then they obviously return as adult fish in a few years' time. So what we've got here is we've got a few of the salmon smolts we caught in the trap. We've popped them in a small amount of water that's got anaesthetic in it. So essentially the fish will just fall asleep, and it allows us to handle them without them kind of flapping about. And it means we can get a length from them, and we can also tag them, and we'll record all that information in a tablet. And that's the data that we use to keep track of individual fish, the ones that have been tagged, the ones that have come back from the sea. So this is the kind of key step. Once you've caught them, you want to get them in here. We call this processing. So essentially rattling through them, getting them in the buckets, getting them tagged, getting them in the tub of water to recover, getting them into the tank, and then get them down below the dam.
So Ross, this is us at the other end of the journey. So what are we doing now?
Yeah, so this is the sort of last piece in the puzzle. This is us releasing the smolts. So we've driven them down from the Tirry round past 2 of our dams.
Yep.
And they're going back into the river here. This is something, it's called the automatic release cage. This is actually something that I designed and built myself. And the reason we use this is, as you can see right now, we're here, it's the middle of the day, we've got these fish, these smolts, and we're about to put them back in the river. Now the thing is, they were caught in the trap earlier at night, so they only like to move at night during the springtime to avoid predation, and they're less visible when it's dark. So what happens typically in fisheries is you do all the work during the day, and right now we're at the very end of the road, these fish are going back in. If we put them back in now under daylight, there's trout in there, there's birds, there's herons that may eat the fish. So what we do is we put them in this automatic release cage, which has got a timer on it that will keep the fish safe. It allows them to recover, they're safe in there. And at 10 o'clock at night, that door will automatically open and the smolts can swim out and continue their journey under cover of darkness. And it just keeps them safe and it reduces predation.
The hydro business has always had a strong focus on environmental protection, whether it's through our fish passes, fish ladders, to ensure that the adult salmon can get back, or mitigation restoration projects that we're involved in with various stakeholders. There's always been an ingrained commitment to protecting the environment. And I think a big part of that is because, the people that work for the business are from these areas, they're from these local areas, they care. And, I think that's what's always maintained that sort of culture of really going above and beyond in terms of protecting the environment. In this case, it's fisheries. We do the right thing, and I think it's something that maybe we don't always champion enough. It's easy for people just to see us as that big energy company who are here to generate, but yeah, there's a lot of work and a lot of really great work that goes on, and it has gone on for decades throughout the business.